Billionaire, a man from Ireland had sent me this after watching my werewolf Bodyguard video. And honestly, even if half of what he claims is true, there might be people out there treating lycanthropy less like a monster story and more like an old family tradition. Now, he told me his name was Declan and he grew up outside of Cork, Ireland. And for almost 12 years, he worked as a cleaner and a groundskeeper for an incredibly wealthy family who owned a massive estate hidden deep in the countryside. And according to him, they weren't celebrities or politicians. They were just old money type of family, right? The kind of people whose names never appear in magazines, but somehow own half the land and know everybody there. Like, they're just one of those people. Anyway, he said they were strange, but never openly frightening, right? He always felt very okay and comfortable around them, and the family never hosted birthday parties, holidays, or weddings. Instead, once every autumn, usually around late October, guests would begin arriving from all over Europe, right? SUVs, private drivers, people speaking German, French, and old-sounding English accents. And everyone dressed in these expensive dark clothing, and they were always wearing silver jewelry that were depicting wolves, right? No matter what, it was always a silver wolf. Declan's instructions were always the same: clean the guest rooms, stay out of the east wing, and leave before sunset on the night of this gathering. And for years, he always obeyed, right? Never questioned it. Then one year, curiosity got the better of him. He had forgotten a set of his keys in a utility closet near the east wing, and he ended up returning after dark to retrieve them. And as he approached the house, he realized every exterior light had been turned off except for a dozen of them, of these candles that were glowing behind these tall windows. And he expected to hear music and laughter, drunken, wealthy people hanging out as you would. But instead, all he heard was howling, not barking, not singing, howling. And there were dozens of voices: men, women, younger people, older people, and they were all making the same eerie sound in this perfect rhythm. And Declan said he crept a little closer to one of the windows and he ended up peering inside because, let's be honest, he wasn't expecting that. And there had to be about 60 people gathered in a large circular room. And the furniture had been removed and pushed all the way up against the walls. The floor was covered in old rugs and animal pelts, and everyone stood barefoot in a ring. And at the center was an elderly man with long white hair speaking in a language that Declan couldn't even recognize. And, then one by one, the guests would step forward and each person drank from a silver cup. And after drinking, they would tilt their heads back and they began howling. And at first he thought, they were just wealthy people playing at being pagans or something. But until he noticed something that was a little off. The family that he had worked for over a decade, they looked different during this ritual, let's call it. Not transformed, not like movie werewolves, just wrong, right? The patriarch's posture had began to change, and his shoulders seemed unnaturally broad. He wasn't really a big guy to begin with, but now he was looking a little bigger. And his jaw, he said, ended up looking heavier. And one younger woman smiled at someone across the room, and Declan swears her canine teeth looked a little too long to be natural. And he said what truly terrified him wasn't what he saw, it was what happened after that. One of the guests suddenly stopped mid-howl and slowly turned toward the window. And she was staring directly at Declan from over 50 feet away, just staring at him through the candlelight, as if she'd known he was there the entire time. She smiled, raised one finger to her lips, and shushed him. Declan said he ran as fast as he could and got as far away as possible. Now, the next morning, he arrived at work expecting to be fired, but instead, the owner met him outside, and he handed Declan an envelope containing nearly 6 months' worth of salary. And he simply just said to him, "You've been so loyal to my family for many years, Mr. O'Donoghue. We'd appreciate your continued discretion. Some families pass down silverware, others pass down old traditions." Now, sadly, Declan quit that week and he moved away from Cork shortly afterward. And years later, he still wonders if he witnessed some secret aristocratic ritual, an elaborate role-playing society, or something much older and much darker. But he told me there's one detail that he can never explain, and that's every autumn since he left, he receives an unsigned Christmas card with no message, no return address, just an embossed silver wolf pressed into the front. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this just some game, or do you think it's something far darker that goes back a lot longer than any of us can realize?